3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Anderson. Anderson, and you're watching freaking Jiggy Jag TV.
Loud and proud, it's Jiggy Jaguar from JiggyJaguar.com.
Thank you. Good night.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, well, go ahead and give us a brief introduction on yourself, my friend.
My name is Chris Aytes, and I have a rock and roll band called Chris Aytes and the Good Ambition. And we are rooted in 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s rock and roll. So everything from Buddy Holly through the Beatles and the Who, through Elvis Costello and the Attractions, and Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, and the Ramones, and Bruce Springsteen and the Romantics. That's kind of our foundation, and we do a lot of original stuff, and then we throw in some covers, and we have lots of fun, and that's what we do. We are a rock and roll band.
You guys have a female drummer, which is kind of unique.
That is true. We do have a female drummer.
How did you get a female drummer in your group?
I married her.
Oh,
and
okay,
then, and then bought her a drum set. But she was a drummer prior to the nuptials. And and things just evolved, and yeah. So it wasn't a big plan. I knew at a ripe age that what I wanted to try to do with my life is play rock and roll music for people and write songs and perform and record them and chase that fantasy.
Awesome.
So that's what we're doing, and things kind of evolved and we got married, and then bought her a drum kit, and then started trying to have bands, and been doing it for years now, and finally have something that's starting to get a little bit of traction, so we're having fun. Things are good.
Now, you're cleaning your guitar here. I have never seen a musician clean a guitar after a gig. They usually just throw the guitar in the case.
Yeah, well...
Take me through this. What are you doing here exactly?
I just played a 3-hour-plus engagement here at the Rusty Needle. A fine establishment. The bar was fairly full, and people were fairly excited. And
one thing about it, Mike knows how to do live music in Hutchinson. So.
Yeah, and we appreciate it so much. This is our first time in Hutch, and we had a phenomenal time. We played in Wichita last night, and it wasn't so awesome. We've played in Wichita a few other times that have been really good, and we've had some great nights in Wichita, and last night was not among them, unfortunately.
Well,
but so 3.5 hours, and I get just all kinds of terrible gunk on here. I sweat, and my sweat is disgustingly greasy and oily because of genetics.
See, I wondered what you were doing with the strings.
Yeah, that's my fingers. And honestly, I'm going to replace these strings. We have 2 gigs tomorrow in Emporia, and I'm actually going to replace the strings. But before then, like during the day tomorrow, if I decide to fiddle around and practice or whatever, if I don't wipe them down, and in between every set I wipe them down, and if I don't do that, they get all corroded and gross, and the corrosion cuts through the calluses on your fingers and it becomes very painful. And then dirt and sweat gets in those cuts, and it becomes even more painful. And I try to avoid that, so I keep the strings clean. And if I clean the sooner I clean the guitar, the easier it is to clean. It's got so much sweaty crap. So I usually take some more sweat from my head and get everything wet again. I can wipe it off. Sometimes I have to use spit. I'll use whatever it takes, you know.
Well, you've got this guitar.
Yeah.
You've got this bus, which I've never heard of a band.
Of a band that is on no level of notoriety whatsoever. Having a bus. We have a bus before we can turn a profit. Yeah. Yeah, the bus is awesome. The bus is we have a good friend who in the past few years had been running this private transportation company in the Wichita area.
Yeah.
And during that time, he accumulated several transit-type vehicles. This particular vehicle used to be part of the New Haven Transit Authority, somewhere in New York State. And while he was running that business, he acquired this bus. Then at some point they stopped using buses and started using minivans. And this particular friend has been a big supporter of the band and before this band he was just a big supporter of my musical endeavors for years and years now. And all the PA equipment we were using, almost all of it came from that guy as well. So he called me last year, early in the year, and said, hey, I've got this bus that the company doesn't really need to use anymore. And I thought, rather than selling it, I would just see if you guys wanted to use it to get around. Because he knew we were about to start hitting the road a little bit more. We don't really tour. We haven't toured yet, but we do a lot of Weekend Warrior stuff. So in the past year, we have played 70 shows, about. Like if you count it from right now and go back a year, so back to April 4th. Is that today? Yeah, back to April 4th. We've played about 70 shows, I think, to date.
Holy crap!
Since last April 4th. So that is almost a gig and a half a week, almost, and we've gotten to the vast majority of them using this bus, and it's been awesome.
So, how do you guys use social media and everything? Are you much of a marketing person online?
Yeah, I don't know how savvy I am. I don't know if I do it the right way and all the right things. But I'm very active in social media, in my own Facebook profile, and I'm pretty slutty with that. If anybody sends me a friend request, I assume it's because they either really know me or it's because they saw my band, and I let them be my friend. So I'm friends with all kinds of people I don't know on Facebook. And then we have a very active Facebook page. And then I'm also on Twitter, at Chris Aytes, A-Y-T-E-S. And so I post actively daily on the Facebook page, my Facebook, on Twitter. We have a website, thegoodambition.com, which I upkeep. I try to upkeep very well. I have a constant blog nowadays where I tell stories from the road. So every weekend and the odd midweek show the bass player wants in. I got you, Grandpa. It's fucking cold. What's up? Everything you're saying is being recorded.
Yeah.
It can be held against you in a court of law.
I'll keep it PG as much as I can.
Oh, this is Jiggy Jag TV. You can do whatever we want. We interview strippers. We interview all sorts of people.
Don't do whatever you want.
Don't tell me that.
I have a reputation to uphold that it's hard to uphold with you, right?
And I have absolutely no reputation, basically. I do have a reputation, but I don't give a shit about it.
This is the bass player. His name is Josh.
What's up?
And
do you have a Twitter or Facebook?
I have a Facebook. If you want, you can find me at Swa Swa Swa. 3 different words, S-W-A, each of them. And it's
really the same word 3 times.
That is true, not 3 different words.
Swa.
This is what it comes down to. There were certain people that were hitting me up about certain things that I didn't want them to hit me up about on the internet, so I made an alias and deleted my old Facebook, so certain people didn't hit me up about certain things.
And now he's telling the world who that alias is.
Shit! I'm drunk, you're right. Damn. Alright. Just don't post this anywhere where Topeka can see it. Like, if you can,
friend request
Topeka.
him.
Top City.
Block Topeka.
Friend request him with caution.
Yeah. If you are a
friend request me freely. If you're no fear.
But this character cautiously.
If you're female from the ages of like 19 to 30, hit me up. Otherwise,
his Facebook needs a parental advisory sticker.
It does.
Mine's pretty PG.
Where's my head bag?
That bag?
No, for my head.
Oh, it's inside the drum bag.
All right, I'm gonna take
that. As we wrap up here,
are we wrapping up already?
What do you guys have?
Let's Mark Maron this sucker, man.
Let's Mark Maron this sucker. That's right. 30 minutes. Hey, well, when we get you guys on the radio show, and you guys come back through,
yeah.
That will be fun. We run 6 cameras, and
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you're doing the social media.
Yes. We're
do
all
you
over.
have a new CD or any music coming out?
Yeah, we've put out a lot in the past year. March of last year, we put out our latest full length, our second full length, and it's kind of our baby. It's called Chris Aytes and the Good Ambition, Just Wanna Rock and Roll. It's got 11 tracks on it, 9 are original, a couple covers of a couple of my favorite songs of all time are on there. And then, so that came out last March. We've got that. We followed that up very quickly with a little EP that was cut during the same sessions. We put that out in August. A little 6-track EP called Rockin' and Rollin' with Chris Aytes and the Good Ambition. And it's got 6 tunes on it, 5 originals, 1 cover. And then this past February, we put out yet another EP, a little 4-track EP with a lot of really atmospheric U2-esque tunes. 3 originals, 1 cover of a U2 song, which we performed tonight. A couple other things we recorded, another full length we put out a while ago, another little EP. We've got a lot of stuff, actually. I think if you go to our website, thegoodambition.com, go to the music section, I think we have like 7 different releases posted. A couple of them are full lengths, the other ones are EPs. And more in the works, but we're pumping the brakes on releasing stuff for a while, because in the past year, in just 1 calendar year, basically, we had 3 releases. So we put out the 11-track album, the 6-track EP, the other 4-track EP, and another just random single. So we've released 22 tracks just in the past year. So we're going to slow down a little bit on releasing. We've got another album in us ready to go. And we're going to start probably recording some home demo versions of those songs and kind of experimenting with them a little bit in that way really soon. Almost everything we've put out, in fact everything we've put out on an official level, have been in real studios, a couple studios that we love to use, one in Topeka and one in Independence, Missouri. And the first album was recorded in St. Louis, Missouri. So we've gone to actual studios for everything. We're gonna do this summer, we're gonna do some home recording, and I don't know if that's gonna be something we'll release or something that'll just be to prep to go to a proper studio later on. Some of my favorite albums that have come out in the past decade are people's home recordings, and they don't necessarily sound all that polished and amazing, like King Tuff. You know King Tuff?
Yep.
I love King Tuff, and his first album, Was Dead. It's just a home recording. He's the only person on it, and it's phenomenal. And it sounds like a home recording. Like, it's good. The sound quality's good, but it's clearly not like $1,000 microphones and properly acoustically tuned rooms and all that stuff. And but I love it. And so much of the albums I love come from the 50s and 60s. And the stuff we've released, a lot of the stuff we've released in the past year, we wanted to make sound as much like the 50s and 60s stuff as possible. We recorded everything live and then dumped the vocals on after, the way most of the Beatles albums were cut. No metronomes, just live, everything together, everything bleeding together. When we did the album, we recorded 15 songs in 2 days. And 11 of them went on the album, 4 of them went on the follow-up EP. Then we did another little session to put a couple more tracks on that EP. So most of the stuff we've done has been, we want it to be as live as possible, because for who knows us, we're known as a live band. And so we want our recordings to give you the same thing that you got when you saw us at the Rusty Needle in Hutchinson, Kansas. But I'm ready to do something a little bit different. We've got some material we've been working on, so we're gonna do some more recording this summer. And
that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know when it's gonna come out.
Before we let you go,
yeah,
how do we find you once again on the internet?
thegoodambition.com. thegoodambition.com. And if you want to like us on Facebook, you can find it from the website. You can find the blog on the website. You can find Twitter on the website, all that stuff. And check out the blog. I'll be writing about this Rusty Needle show in the next couple days and getting that up on the blog. Probably by Sunday. If not by Sunday, by Monday. Yeah. So